The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.
Greetings, my fellow warriors, for Meckanimal, and today we're going to discuss the global pandemic. The disease, which name shall not be spoken of, has been raging across the globe lately, and I've abstained myself from discussing it because it's been a trend. Everybody and their grandmother put themselves at work to talk about the topic, and just for the sake of use. As of myself, I feel like it is a topic that it's about time I address, because I know that I have a good amount of faithful subscribers, fellow warriors, that should hear about what I think about it. And the first thing that comes to mind when you say C V fucker is it should be taken quite seriously. At first, when it came about, I was one of those who would say, okay, all right, it's not that bad. It's just possibly not that much worse than a regular flu, right? Which could still be arguably taken in consideration, but the fact that the mortality rate is much higher and the transmission likelihood is very, very high, it is to be taken seriously. And somebody like me will not really worry about it based on the statistic and how it goes about taking over the body. I know that I'll have a healthy or a well geared body to survive if everything was to happen. But the problem is the human organism, is still an organism where anything could go wrong. As perfect as a system can be, there can always be a bug. Through the series of reactions that go through the body, there can be an anomaly, and then the next thing you know, you're having a hard time surviving, when you thought you will be one of those who will just bounce out of it just like that. So it is really something to take seriously, whether you are healthy, and especially when you have some underlying condition. And going down that way, you should be mindful of other people, which is pretty much the main reason why the social distancing has been put in place. Not so much for us who think we are geared and healthy enough to survive it, but for the people that are likely to have a weak immune system, to put it in a simpler manner and a simpler term. So you can't just be selfish, and I feel probably it's our debt to society, whatever debt it is, even though sometimes it feels like society is so selfish that sometimes I don't feel like I'm in debt to it. But to be a fair human being, which I am, or at least I strive to be a decent human being, I feel like it's our duty to society to do the best we can to ensure that the disease doesn't spread in a way that it target less the less fortunate one when it comes to immune system. And speaking of weak immune system or people with underlying condition, let's talk about it a little bit. You have those who just are not lucky. They have not been blessed with a good health, right? Which is some I really pray for every day and wish I keep mine that way for the rest of my life, right? Those little things that we take for super granted, and in dire times like this one, you wish you had a good immune system, that you didn't have any condition. Like some of these conditions are super nasty, and we tend to lose sight of that because it's not us who are suffering. People in deathbed, people in like critical condition all across the globe. Whether it's once in a while it can be a loved one, it's somebody close to you, but in general those are people that you don't know. So it's easy to lose sight of the fact that you are blessed, in spite of how wealthy or how poor you may be. As long as you can breathe, come out, get some fresh air, taste some nice food, something that you enjoy. Those are the little things in life that we take for granted. And it may sound hippie, but I will make sure that every single opportunity of mine to speak those words, I will do so. Have to be a decent person and enjoy life and not take for granted what life throws at you. So you have those people, right? Those people who are not as fortunate as us, and hopefully we keep it that way. Now, you have those who are misery induced to themselves, and diabetes being high blood pressure being one of those underlying conditions that can make you a weak target for the virus. You have to wonder why people, when told that they have to do something to manage their weight, why they're not doing anything about it. I know it is hard, right? But I feel like even if you're not doing it for yourself, because you have, you have those people who are pretty defensive when you mention the weight problem, the obesity problem. You have those who get super defensive, and notably the body positivity people, right? They will do anything to just to me, I feel like it's more like an excuse not to do anything about your health, but that still can be discussed in a polite manner. So to play the devil advocate, I could say that people who target them with topic may come off like in a specific way that trigger, that feel a little bit like aggressive, and as a result, the body positivity, people will just react accordingly, and back and forth and so on. It never stops. But I feel like if I was to talk about the topic, I will come up in a more diplomatic way, because it's not to be disrespectful about body shaming, like they tend to call it. It's not about body shaming, but it's more like telling the truth. The facts don't lie. You have statistic, every single study out there that has shown that there's a big correlation with weight, excess of fat, and diabetes and high blood pressure. It is a simple fact. It's empirical. So for you to come up and be like, now you can still be healthy at any weight, you have some exception out there, but 95% of the time you can't. You have some people who are overweight but they're super athletic. I know a few people like that, but I yet how to see down the line, and when they get older, if they can sustain that weight and that athleticism to make up, you know, to make up for that, you know, the weights that they've been carrying all along. Because once you start being super athletic and keep eating like that, it's just gonna get worse. So this is something to think about. It's nothing. It's, you know, no hard feeling. It's not something to be upset about when somebody around you tell you that you have to lose weight. It is for circumstances like this. Because now what you're gonna do? You're gonna be one of the people who panic about the virus, right? You're gonna be panicking because you thought the world was a nice place, the world was a cozy place. You know, our civilization has made us pretty comfortable. We're like lazy cats, you know, and we've been given everything. Or when there's a little concern like that, you see people panicking, buying all the toilet paper, going to grocery stores and buying all the food possible. Which I wonder, why would you buy a bunch of pizzas anyway when most people need to lose weight? You know, I feel like it could be a blessing for people to get on a diet. You know, get just what you need, and hopefully it won't last too long in lockdown. And it could be a way for you to force yourself to diet down and lose some weight. So given that 45% of the population need to lose weight, at least in America, it will make sense that, you know, you take opportunity, advantage of this opportunity to, you know, get about the business of losing weight. And you probably will come out on the other side of the what you call on the other side of the crisis, feeling you know, feeling great. You know, hopefully by the end of summer you will reach your goal. You know, just think about it. So that's that. It's all positive, no mockery. It's just all about perspective. That's something I've been trying to make the video for a while, and I just kept on postponing, feeling lazy, because I felt like, you know what, so many people talk about the V fucker, and I just felt lazy, you know. And right now I'm just speaking my mind. At the end of the day, it's been a long day, a nice well spent day. Took care of my loved one, took care of myself, and yeah, I'm just telling you guys what's going on in the world now. So that was that. So you have people who induced, who are misery inducer to themselves, and you have people who just, they were born not so lucky, and they have some miserable, they feel miserable at time because of the health condition that they have to deal with, you know. So for those people, it is our duty to be what you call 'em, to be compassionate and help in delaying the progression of the spreading, you know, because the whole point of the social distancing is to delay the spreading, to flatten the curve, so we give chance to the clinician to get ready, to gear up to handle, you know, the sick. You know, that's I mean, they're definitely going to fill up the hospital pretty soon. And in turn, you know, when it comes to the mortality rate, I feel like, given that we don't have enough tests, right, to know who got it, there might be a lot more people, a whole lot more people than what's actually known right now that have it, which will reduce the mortality rate if we were to figure out that a lot more people have it but just don't show symptoms, right? So that's something that we can think about it. But this is not the time to think about it that way. We have to take it as it is right now, because those are the facts that we are given and that we know. So we're gonna work with what we are given and act upon it so that we cover all ends or all angle, you know. And what else? Well, I thought we would talk about. Yeah, so the young people who think that they are exempt from passing from it. Don't take it lightly, man. As healthy as I am, and I'm in no worry. I'm in no psychosis. I'm pretty chill, but I'm very careful. I think that's the most sanitized I've ever been in my life, because in general I'm not a germaphobe. So I was just clean what's obviously need to be clean in general. So I can thrive in some pretty I won't say nasty environment, but yeah, I feel like I do have a pretty strong system. But because this entity is unknown, I can't take any chance. And having people around me that may be susceptible to it, it's my duty to clean up after me, wash my hand. You cannot wash your hand enough, as much as you can. And if you can spend longer washing your hand, do so. Anything you can to slow down the the spreading is the best thing you can do. Don't pick your nose. A lot of people like to pick their nose. Don't pick your nose, and that's to say the least. And obviously, don't touch your face. Don't scratch your face all the time. Sometimes maybe scratching, but work hard at do some faces, and don't sneeze on people. I found myself with the allergy in spring now. I found myself having to sneeze around, and I had to like close my airways and absorb, like implode. I let the sneeze implode inside, just so that people don't feel concerned or feel like I have the coronavirus. And yeah, and who knows? I don't know. I may have it. We all we are suspect. You have to assume that anybody around you has it. That's the best way to be to keep yourself sharp in doing the right thing. And what else I was gonna talk about? So yes, don't be a fool. Don't be a young fool, partying, making up, and making out, thinking you're invincible. I heard some people, if I got it, I got it. Well, if you got it, you got it, and you may just get it. You get it. Yeah. So don't be a fool, man. Just be mindful. You may be the demise of your grandpa, or your grandma, or your uncle, or even your dad. Your dad might be one with some heart condition, and you come home from spring break, give it to him, and then what happened? God forbid it happens that he passes. How are you gonna live? You're gonna reflect back to the time where you say, yeah, you only live once. So don't be that way, man. Just everybody trying to be a little more conscious, and trying to be a good person. That's all I can say. And I can make another video regarding what to do about training in these days where everybody is in confinement and quarantine. What can be done? And I don't really want to do that, because I feel like everybody is like a home workout coach now. Like everybody has something to say about what to do at home. Yeah, we know. And people like us who've been doing calisthenics pretty much does a home workout. So I don't feel like I need to do anything special about home workout. And if I ever do it, it's most likely to get views, right? And I just don't have time lately for that. But if I ever happen to make a video about home workout, it would probably have to be something exquisite, something that I feel like is really valuable. Not just some cookie cutter video out there just for the sake of grabbing views. So if I ever make a video about it, y'all better follow it, and you will see that it was worth your time. I'm never gonna try to make a video just as a filler. It has to be worth it. So yes, quarantine at the moment, doing good. I get to do my workout as usual, nothing has really changed. My program is going well. Beside the fact that source of income, it might be cut for the time being, but money comes and go, and I have the online thing going. I have some other alternative for coaching and training besides my main line, so I think I should be fine. So shout out for all the people who are affected by the confinement at this time. I know a lot of people will panic because many people live paycheck to paycheck. And speaking of that, that's another topic. I think it makes the people who in charge of running the country realize that we all need some type of reliable health care, right? Because whether you're rich, you can afford a very good health care, or poor, we are linked, we are the same. We have the same type of organism that can be affected. And by neglecting a poor person, for example, who cannot treat himself, you putting yourself at risk. Because by some type of labyrinth, connection to connection, that one person that lacked treatment, or that was afraid to report for treatment, can be the reason why you up there thinking that you're safe, might get the condition, might get the disease, and the virus might be your demise. The poor person may be in good health, luckily has survived, but you, in spite of all your money, you might have been not so lucky, have like you born with a condition, and in spite of you having money, you've been doomed by the misery of somebody who couldn't afford a health care, right? So that's just a picture. I'm just saying that this kind of crisis put in perspective how linked we are, and that we should not be greedy, corporations being greedy about maximizing profits, and even in such a situation, people trying to find a way to make money, when actually, even when you reach, your health is at risk. It's not the time to think about maximizing profit. It's time to come together as a community, because we are one and we are meaningless in the big scheme of things in the universe. Have you ever gotten out and look up in the sky, see the stars? Those are huge entities that look small, and there are billions of them out there. So when you see yourself as a human, we're so full of ourselves. It's about money, 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 money. How we can do this, how we can do this, we can do that. We lose track of how short life is while we are here, and how we should try to enjoy ourselves with each other. The sense of community has been lost. Man, people are alienated by the search of money, and people the quest of infinite money, infinite wealth, and other people are alienated by the search of basic income just to survive. So there is so much discrepancy, and something has to be done. I mean, I'm not gonna talk politics right now, because the moment you go into politics, people get defensive and people pick sides pretty quickly. So I try to distance myself for this topic online, especially that it is a fitness channel. But I'm gonna make sure that anytime I speak, it's not political. It's more like common sense, right? Because what I just mentioned is all common sense. So if you have this certain this decency and common sense, you should understand that the right to the health care. How do you put it? The 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 health care is a right. Every human being is supposed to have the right to health care. It should not be an option, because we all are the same. We all are the same. And like I said again, this is a test again to show that whether you rich or poor, when a sophisticated entity comes like that, yeah, it's coming for everybody. It doesn't care, it doesn't discriminate whether you're a star or poor. It comes for everybody. So yeah, think community. People who hoard things, people who steal things, you know. I mean, not stealing, who buy everything, for example. Just buy what you need. Leave it for the other person to use. If you happen to have extra, you bought so much, feel happy about giving to those who don't have it. The paper towel, whatever it is, hand sanitizer, stuff like that. You need to be willing to help. Don't be afraid, you know, because if we have this sense of community, we'll be able to thrive and survive, as opposed to, oh, it's everyone for himself. I got everything for me, and I'm ready for this thing. It becomes down to worse. All right, let's say that you do that, and at the end of the day, I mean, you run out of it. You know, are you gonna be the only human left on Earth? How are you gonna be social beings? You know that, right? By nature. So don't lose sight of that. Always trying to keep that in mind when whatever behavior you tend to display. So that's that, you know. So there goes with the finally we're gonna call his name, the coronavirus situation. Everybody's on lockdown, everybody is panicking. Don't panic, but at the same time, don't take it lightly. Everything is just gonna be fine. Don't hoard things. Go buy in the store whatever you need to buy, and that's about it. Let other people have their own, I mean, their own share of things they need. And for those who thinks they're invincible, no, as young and healthy as you are, you may be affected. The young people in the 40s have been on ventilator. That means they are really struggling to survive. They're trying to stay around. So, and some of them have died, you know, very few, but like I said, you may be the unlucky one that happened to be, you know, part of the other odds. And for those who have induced themselves some misery due to their lifestyle, I think this is kind of wake up call to reflect on your life and see that, okay, I think so far I've had the wrong mindset. It's time for me to do something about my health so that I stay ready, because I don't want to have to get ready. That's my motto. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you know. So mentally, physically, everything, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and at the same time use that to inspire other people to do so. That's what life is all about. And whereas again, I think that's about it, you know. It is out there, it's here to stay. They may be able to slow it down for one season, and it may come back stronger. So we're probably just gonna travel to the South Pole during the winter, during the heat. The summer here is winter down in South Pole. It would travel there and then come back here in fall when it gets colder. So be ready for it. It's here to stay. But at the same time, don't panic. Just get a sense of community and help each other. Meanwhile, hopefully you find a way to reflect on your life during this time. And yeah, please don't complain about being home, you know. Nothing wrong with staying home. People are crying about staying home. Would you rather be at war than staying home? Or they're telling you to stay home and you're panicking about that you need freedom, this and freedom that? Come on now, let's be real, you know. People people have had to enlist for wars, right, in the past, and they didn't cry about it. They're only asking you to stay home for 2 weeks. It might be extended, but there's nothing wrong about staying home, you know, except for the past that we worry about the income, being able to pay our bills. So my message is sense of community. Take care of each other. Don't panic. Stay positive, and everything is just gonna be alright. No matter what happens, money comes and go. If you feel worried about your financial situation, it will just sort out eventually, as long as you take care of your body. So take care of your body while you're confined. Exercise mentally, exercise physically, and eat as healthy as you can possibly do. Everything is and will always be, I won't say the Corona mode, peace mode, the Meckanimal way. Salute.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.